would you do?
I think for me, I would have to say that the riskiest move you can do is not doing any moves. So try it. Try it. That's my first advice. And my second advice is be obsessed with it. Like I'm literally obsessed with Bombhouse.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy Busy. Welcome to the Community Podcast, episode number 1. We are at College Station's #1 nightclub. Today, the podcast is powered by Bombhouse, also sponsored by Bomber Energy, providing the energy behind the podcast. Today, we got the guys behind Bombhouse itself. It's going to be a banger of an episode. Come check it out. Welcome to the Community Podcast, episode number 1.
Let's do it, baby. Welcome to the Community Podcast. This is episode number 1. It's been a time in the making. We've done a lot of changes. There's been a lot of changes in our lives, and we've kind of had to restructure, rebrand it entirely due to how we want to present ourselves. And this is now the Community Podcast, where we will be promoting more so like content, business content, bringing people together, building that community where that you're able to, you know someone that can help you out with this other thing that you need. We want to build that for you guys as well as ourselves, and show you guys how we're doing that, document it all, and just give you that new formula for the podcast. Again, this is the Community Podcast. And for today's episode, we got for one host and also new guys behind the Bombhouse nightclub that you guys see here on Northgate. Newest nightclub in College Station, Texas. Bombhouse. What's up, guys? We got JD and Raphael on the podcast. Welcome on in, guys.
What's up?
What's up, guys? Thank y'all for having us here.
Thank you for having us here.
Of course.
We are at Bombhouse, by the way. We're at Bombhouse, turning it up. It will be turned up later tonight, but right now, a little calm. Shout out to Bomber. They're keeping us going for this podcast. But let's get into it, more so with you guys and how this came to be, how this came to life. I don't know who wants to take the floor. Bombhouse, again, is our newest nightclub in the city. How long have you guys been open?
I think we're going on our 8th month now.
Okay.
8th.
And
we opened August of 24. Yeah, August of 24, yeah.
And so you guys would be considered the newest spot on Northgate right now?
I think there's another bar down the street from us that's pretty new.
Yeah.
The one that's like literally next to us. But yeah, we're pretty much
I'd say the newest nightclub.
Yeah,
absolutely.
the newest nightclub for sure. Yeah.
At least one that's to know about. Definitely a nightclub scene, new scene that you really don't have here in College Station. And what's the idea behind all that? What's the idea behind Bombhouse? If you guys want to get into that, I'm looking around and I see greenery, I see lights going crazy. And if you step in a spot in College Station, you're not gonna see any of that. So it's a new look. What brought the inspiration behind all that?
I would first start off with, before Bombhouse, me and Juan were both promoters, for Latin Night. Many of y'all would know that Latin Night was at Bar 12 for about 5 years?
5 years, yeah.
And then we ended up getting an opportunity, as really good consultants, I would say, in the nightlife. That has led to several variables, changing. I'm not gonna really go into detail, like what it all is. I can't even talk today. I'm a little under the weather, I will say, because last night.
Not to throw it back, but he got bent last night.
I really turned up. I didn't get crazy, but I got up there. But circling back, but yeah, and then when we got this opportunity here, it was a lot of potential, a lot of potential. But I feel like with the potential, it also needs great minds behind it, with creativity and all that kind of stuff. And so we were like, okay, you know what could be put here on Northgate? What's something that would really stand out? And I think, you know, what we saw was, okay, let's theme this place out and let's add some greenery. Let's make it look a little above average, I guess, because, you know, we only had so much to work with, but we wanted to make the best out of it. We saw that there was no sections, and now there's sections. We're actually in one right now. We wanted the DJ booth to really give life to the place. You know, the DJ, as you know, because you're a DJ yourself, you guys are controlling like the whole night, you know, like the whole scenery and all that kind of stuff. And so like everyone's really praising y'all for what y'all are putting out there and shit like that. So we really had to give, you know, the DJ a spot. And then our third floor, first down rooftop, we really wanted to make it simple but straight to the point, really. I mean, it's a sports bar. We put some greenery on there, and, you know, we built a mobile stage, which, you know, the DJ can DJ on and shit like that. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. Did you want to add anything?
Yeah, no, and to add on top of that, like, we also wanted to name it two different things, right? So we called, obviously, this floor that is the nightclub Baumhaus, which, fun fact, is actually German for treehouse. And then the third floor, we called it First Down Rooftop, in honor of, obviously, us being Aggies. Both of us went to the Mays Business School, so that's why we called that floor that. But on top of that, we wanted to make two different kind of ecosystems. I know at times, like, when I was an undergrad, like, I would go out to a nightclub, and, like, it was, you're in the nightclub, and that's it. You're not out of it. But here, like, you can be in the nightclub, you can get a section, and then if you want to kind of chill out for a little bit, you can go upstairs, enjoy the view. It's actually a little bit colder up there too. So sometimes, yeah. But yeah, we also have a DJ up there most of our nights. So that's also the purpose why we called it two different things instead of just everything Baumhaus. So there's like two different ecosystems where you can chill on the rooftop, have a really nice time, a good vibe, and then down here you can kind of rave and just go at it.
Has there been like anyone, not, I wouldn't say complaining, but more so like confused about the two names? Like, has that been an issue or anything?
I mean, in the beginning, they still thought this was Toku.
Okay.
Because the thing is, like, when we opened, it took us like how long did it take us? Like at least over a month to get our signs.
Gotcha.
I don't know. We got them in November, so
yeah,
we kind of had to work with.
Yeah, no, even longer. Yeah,
3
it was
months.
It was like the whole fall semester, pretty much.
Yeah, it was an ordeal.
Yeah,
because
we
it was
had
like,
no-
dude, we're trying to do something new, and it's like, dude, how the fuck are we gonna not have signs?
Yeah.
And it's not because we didn't want to have signs. It was because the city has permits and shit.
Yeah.
So it's like, bro, like, I can't do shit. And then, like, to even take off signs, that also requires sometimes
so what was
permissions.
that? Like, it was permit that you were waiting for?
Yeah.
A permit?
Yeah, permit.
Really?
took
Yeah, and then the guy had to make the sign, and then we had to get another permit to get like the equipment to put that stuff up there. It was a whole process.
Yeah, for those who know, like, by being in this type of industry or any industry really where you have to put a sign out there, or you want to put a sign out there, you'll know that, yeah, you got to do a permit. It's not a money issue. It's more like we have to follow the rules type of thing. So, I mean, yeah, that's kind of just where it went.
And so, like, this being your first venture in this field, was that a wake-up call, or like were those like just waiting on those permits, having to play the wait game?
No, I mean, like, not even just that. Like, before we even like got to open, they were gonna have us take everything down from the greenery, like, because it was considered a fire hazard.
Shit.
So it took us the room right here where you see like "Welcome to the Jungle" neon sign, and like the whole roof. That took us like collectively around like 8 hours, and it was like 3 of us at times going at it.
Okay, so you put up the greenery all
Yeah, so pretty
before.
much it took us like 8 hours in total to put everything up, and then we had to get our capacity count recounted. And then the fire marshal came in and he was like, "Yeah, y'all have to take all of this down. If not, y'all are not opening."
Was he just being a dickbag?
I mean,
He was doing his job.
he was doing his
I
job.
would say that he was doing his job.
Yeah.
But there was like an alternative to have the greenery
Thankfully.
up there. And I mean, we continuously do this. Is we have to continuously apply, fire retardant and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
For it to.
I was gonna ask what.
But it's not just any. It's a certain grade that it has to be, and so we have to follow those regulations, I guess. And I mean, we definitely don't want there to be a fire.
Yeah,
and this shit catches, and then everyone's doomed. Yeah. We want to be responsible.
I don't do like sparklers in here or anything.
Oh hell no! I wouldn't risk it. I'm not saying we couldn't, but I just
that's also why we took away the smoke machine. We used to have a smoke machine,
and it was water vapor too.
And like the button got stuck one night, and the freaking fire alarm went off, and it was like
it stayed going.
Yeah, the fire alarm went off, and it was like 12:30, 1 a.m. and this place was packed.
Oh shit!
So yeah, it was pretty bad, and I was by myself too.
Flashing lights,
yeah.
Flashing lights, or
like everything was on, like all the fire alarm stuff was on.
So like it kind of looked legit, like it was fucking strobing.
Yeah, I mean, people are having a blast. Like even like with that on, like people were dancing to the rhythm of the fire alarm. So
at about that time, you're dancing to a lot of like whatever the fuck.
Yeah,
you can put on some rhythm.
No, we definitely had a lot of obstacles to open this place up. A lot.
I mean, let's get into just like a few of them, because I mean, first let's see. How old are you guys? If you guys don't mind mentioning that.
I'm 25.
28.
And this would be y'all's first nightclub?
Yes.
Collectively too. So like first one, what are some, other than the fire retardant that you got to put on the greenery, what are some notable issues that you guys have come up with? Whether it be, I'm not trying to like put anyone down or put anything down either, but like something that's been of concern for the listener, for the viewer that's maybe interested in, I want to go into nightclub industry, and there's some shit you got to look out for.
I mean, pretty much thinking about every single aspect of someone coming into a nightclub, right? So we even had to, so the thing is like, we didn't even have enough wells up here. And this was like the main floor. Like we even had to move wells from another floor to this floor. And then the third floor doesn't have like an ice machine. So like we have to work with this ice machine here. And then there's another ice machine on the first. So it's a lot of like you putting yourself in the shoes of your customer, pretty much. But when we got this place, it was a lot of work. Setting all the wells up, and then you have to have all the systems to the guns, and then like all like that carbonation side of things, and then like all of like the bar stuff. Like it's a lot of equipment that you don't really realize is behind like a normal bar in general. So yeah, it's
even the infrastructure, like like building the bar, the restrooms. Like, dude, if you're going into a straight up like abandoned building, and then you want to bring it up to code, and then you want to, make it look decent or nice, like, dude, it's going to cost well over $1 million to
yeah, and then, like, you're building VIP sections, and then if you build something, then, like, your capacity is modified according to, like, the city. So it's a lot of stuff. It's a lot. I remember, like, it took us we were a good month or more going at it. Yeah. And another thing is the time. Like, thankfully, like I work a corporate job as well, but thankfully like my corporate job is like not like super flexible, but like it gives me the flexibility that like on the weekends I can dedicate myself to this. So like the thing is, like when we were doing all this stuff and like getting everything ready, it was very time consuming. Like I had to go to my 9 to 5 and then drive all the way here and then keep on going at it. So a lot of time as well. Not just even like the money aspect of it. Like the time is also huge.
I will say, like, because I don't work a corporate job no more. Like once the bar happened, it was kind of like, all right, since I live here, like I can manage most of the things. It's not rocket science, but what he's saying is true. Like even throughout the week, like it'll be 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock at night, and we're talking about the bar. Like there's people reaching out to us talking about numbers and this and that, and you forgot to maybe pay me or whatever. Let's say if it's the photographer, right? Cool. Yeah, we have the funds. Obviously, here you go. Whatever. But that's happening like not on operational hours. That's happening throughout the whole week. the plumber's here. He's here to fix, some douchebag that kicked the.
That's another. We've been through like 5 tables already.
Yeah.
For our VIP section.
Thankfully, this one right here was built in.
It's not going nowhere.
We had to have our guys build
Let's
it.
hope not. But it's
It's screwed screwed into the floor.
Shout out to Lee for that and,
Yeah.
and Junior. Yeah,
Yeah.
they put it up.
Let's make a bomb
pretty
house challenge. Like, see how
Pretty sturdy.
I'm fucking with you. I don't get no fucking
But
ideas.
for any of the customers watching though, I will say, guys, please try not to mess up our restrooms. And the reason being is because like everyone uses them. Like it's just to go pee. They're not punching bags.
I would say this, bro. Like from a DJ's perspective, bro. Like
show some respect.
show some respect for the venue, and the venue will show respect to you guys. Like the venue wants you to have a good time, but then when you go and like, bro, I'm just gonna give an example. Someone I knew last week. I walk into the restroom at said club right over here next door. I'm working, and I walk into the fucking restroom, and there's a guy, bro, in the urinal, and he is just straight up facing, like the urinal's right in front of him, but he's facing the corner. He's just like going around and around and just purposely pissing on the wall. And I'm like, dog, like I have to go take a piss. I'm next. And I gotta fucking stand in your piss. Like, I'm not gonna do that. Like, I went downstairs, but I'm just like, bro, why are you? I get you're drunk. Yeah, you come and you get drunk.
Yeah.
We've all been there.
But man, respect the damn venue.
Cause like, dude, we're in our 20s. Like, we're trying to build off of this, and by you doing that, it halters, right? That's the word, right? Halters, yeah. It basically puts us back sometimes, and so we don't want that. And it's expensive, dude. It really is expensive. Yeah. Any bar owner will tell you,
yep.
Or manager, what have you. They'll tell you that when you break shit, like it's expensive. Luckily, the tables aren't as expensive, but anything plumbing wise, electrical wise, it's gonna cost. Yeah, and it's annoying, but we built this place for you guys. Like we really want you guys to have fun and to come back. We love our customers. Like I see a lot of loyal customers that come. I'm not gonna say any names, but like yeah, and sometimes they'll have bottle wars. Like that section
is crazy.
And that's in this section.
Crazy.
Yeah, and then one time they
good.
brought
It's
out
good.
a sign. They told the bottle girls, hey, bring a sign out that says, what did it say exactly? Something about bottle wars or some shit like that? I don't remember, but some shit like that, yeah.
You gotta promote that.
There's
shit,
also
bro.
signs where it's like, who the fuck's ovulating?
It's some crazy stuff, man.
I'm like, bro, what?
People get really creative here.
Do you know Ash Trevino? Do you know that chick?
I've heard of her, yeah.
Do you know her?
Mm-mm.
She's some chick on TikTok. And last week, some guys had a fuck Ash Trevino sign. I was like, damn, like she made it to Northgate. She's an annoying ass TikToker.
Oh,
A terrible TikToker.
I don't get that. There's
too
people
much.
that follow that shit.
Too much shit. Yeah, no.
And
I
I'm
don't
just
follow
like,
that shit.
dude, it's not worth my time.
Don't think I follow that shit. JD, you were talking about the efforts that you have to put in that are not seen by sometimes even staff. You gotta really, put all that extra stuff in, make those drives, have those meetings, as well as you talking about, sometimes you gotta talk to people off the clock. But that extra effort, now that you're 8 months into this, would you say it has been worth it? Are you thankful for it? Has it been a good thing, a bad thing? How are you feeling 8 months in?
I think it's been a huge learning lesson. Not only like the fact that we've gotten really good feedback, that's something else we really pride ourselves in. I don't know if like the people that follow our page have noticed that we've put like out there in our stories like, hey, give us feedback, like just type whatever. And we always get feedback. There's people telling us good stuff and there's people telling us bad stuff. Like I remember one time we had issues with the bathroom where toilet paper would never be there. And it was because people were just like destroying the toilet paper and throwing it and doing crazy stuff with it. So I think overall it's really fulfilling for sure. Not only in like the aspect of like being our business like really solidified, but also like the team we have as well. That's something we take a lot of pride in. Our team is a team that is not just like, hey, clock in, do your stuff, and then just get out of here. Like our team really like fuck with each other. Like they go out and like they fuck with us too. Like we obviously there has to be boundaries, but at the end of the day, like we've created a work culture that is so nice, and that's also something really hard to do because with that, like it's kind of a domino effect. Like if they're happy, we're happy, and that just brings more production as well. So I would say like overall it's gone really well. We've gotten really good feedback from everyone that's been here and has seen our events and all that stuff. But yeah, overall, like really, really fulfilling, honestly, and really, really grateful, to be in like the position we are, and like our staff too. I'm really appreciative of our staff as well, because I think, one of the hardest things, at least from what I've seen of like all this time doing here, is really like dealing with staff. I would say, I think that's one of the hardest stuff. Like we love you guys, but y'all sometimes are a fucking pain in the ass. But yeah, no, that's really tough because like sometimes like one staff member doesn't like the other staff member, and then it like splits it up. So
we've tried to create a drama-free zone.
Yeah.
Too. Like that's one thing I will not tolerate, bro. Like I won't do it. And like every time we do something, it's like, dude, we're doing it because it's being fair. Like not only are we your bosses, but sometimes like we know you too, like as
a person,
you know. So like yes, we're on a somewhat friend level, but of course, like JD said, there has to be the boundaries, you know, and we have to sometimes do things that make sense for the business, because and that's something I guess that's something that the employee doesn't really understand. Is sometimes we do things for the better of the business to make more income, and why? Because the more revenue that's generated, the longer we can keep this place and keep your job too, like going. Like, dude, the job could end tomorrow, and then what? Now we have over 25 people
about
unemployed. Like we have to make some critical decisions, and people will see it as being treated unfair, or people will see it as, oh, we stole their ideas and I created these recipes and blah, blah, blah. Like, you guys also have to understand, like, we pay you to do this. Like, that knowledge and the favors that you do is not free. Like, it's not free at all. We pay for it. So that's what they have to understand is, like, okay, like, we love y'all. Thank y'all for going the extra mile sometimes. But again, we're paying for it.
And also, at the end of the day, y'all are the ones essentially do like the risk takers. Y'all are the ones that have your feet. You're deep in that.
Yeah,
shit.
I always tell them who's gonna pay. Like if we can't come up with, like, let's say for example like $20K, do I go to you and tell you, hey man, like can you let me borrow like $5,000-$10,000? No, like that's not gonna exist. And that's what many of the people have to like understand is we're a business. We're not in the business to lose money. We're in the business to make money, but also to give people a really good experience. Because that's the thing. It's not always about the money. I will say, like, the money comes last, I think. You know, like we created all this stuff out of like, okay, bro, like we want people to have the best experience. You know, it's a clean environment, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But the money does come last. You know, because sometimes I'm like, damn, like sometimes I'm not thinking about the money being generated, because there's such a good time, like happening in here. Not saying that I'm drunk or all the time or whatever. No, like, you know, sometimes that's why we have to negotiate things here and there, is because you have to also be fair to us. We're being fair to you, you know, and we've had that trouble, and JD knows.
And another thing I will add on to that is that we are very lenient too. Like, we give you second chances.
Yeah.
And there's been employees that we give them that second chance and they mess it up again. So that's kind of where the hard part of our job comes in. It's like, okay, like we really like you as an employee, but you're not doing what you have to do. You're messing up in your job, making us look bad, making the bar look bad, messing up our brand. So that's where we step in, right? That's where we have to take the decision to, if that's the case, fire you, right? But that's obviously what we don't want to do. We don't want crazy turnover either, right?
Yeah. But I will say, like, dude, the amount of people that have DM'd us wanting to come work here.
And from other bars as well.
A ton.
And from other bars.
I think every single bar, almost every single bar in this district, an employee from that bar has DM'd us and said, I want to work for you guys. Or, yeah, so it could be a bouncer, bartender, what have you, bar back. And it's because we have that work culture. Because here's the thing, like, our employees talk about the work culture and how it's, like, lenient, how it's fun, how, like, they get paid very well. And, like, that word spreads, you know, to their friends. And some of their friends are people in other, places. But that's what we want to continue to have. And I will say this, where we kind of learned this, well, maybe where I kind of, like, learned it myself, because I won't speak on JD's behalf, but, like, shout out to Garth Tubbs, dude. Like, he has a really good place. He said a lot of tips to me and you, when we had the Get Bent podcast going on. And, like, I've seen his work culture. And that's something that you kind of want to have, I'm not saying it's a complete copycat. Obviously, ours is different. There's our differences. We have our differences.
Right. It's a template, though.
It's a good template, yeah. And hopefully, yeah, we can have that guy on here again. We love Garth. He's a good friend of ours.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I mean, we learn from everybody. Because here's the thing, I will say, like, every person you'll ever meet in your life, even if they're really stupid, you'll learn something from them. Like, something. It could be whether not to do something too, but you'll learn that. Yeah, you get me?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So.
We totally agree with that.
Yeah.
That's a very good point. You can learn what not to do from a dumbass.
By the way, if y'all hear, like, some random ass noises, there's a whole restaurant going on the first floor, and then the elevator sometimes just makes the machine
I don't think
noise.
they can hear shit.
Well, I don't know.
We got that solid stuff. Guys, the community podcast it's a whole restructure. Rafa, how are you feeling about that restructure? We kind of, like, went away with the Get Bent podcast.
I will say this, and I learned this from Shark Tank, because of course these guys are billionaires and multimillionaires. Sometimes you have an idea, and you'll learn something from it, and this is what we spoke about to hopefully our future partners somewhere else, because we're trying to expand. Dude, take the risk. Why? Because you'll never really get the opportunity again. And two, it's like, okay, even if you fail, fuck it. Like, we did it. You learn from it. You learn the mistakes and the failures. But if there's success, you also learn from that too. Like, all that stuff. So what the Get Bent podcast did was amazing. It really put me where I'm at today. I will say that. Without that, it wouldn't have. I know that for a fact. That helped a lot. And so there was a lot of learning, a lot of mistakes made. Cool, whatever. But, like the people in Shark Tank say, sometimes you have to take it behind the barn and shoot the thing in the head. Sadly, but it's true. Like, it's like a
wounded animal.
It's like a horse, Once the horse is done for. And I guess, like, back in the day, there was, like, no veterinarians and shit like that to, I guess, euthanize them or whatever, right? So, yeah, you'd have to, sadly, bro, the thing's suffering. You got to take it behind the barn and shoot the thing. And so that's, I feel like, what we did, but we learned. And so it's like, all right, bro, like, time to up the game. Time to.
Yeah, definitely.
Time to, keep the caliber of guests at a certain level and all that stuff. If you reach out to us and we decline you, or we just don't want to do it. Respectfully, yes. I'm sorry. Like, it's just, we have to have a certain standard.
Yeah, I will say on the Get Bent podcast, we did a lot of great things, and we did kind of, like, steer off into ways that we kind of didn't want to sometimes, or maybe we did want to, and we realized after the fact, like, okay, that was the complete wrong move. We should not have done that. Yeah. And also, like, I don't know, it was definitely a great learning experience, like you were saying, but, like, Get Bent is a little provocative. I'm not gonna tell you, like, I'm not gonna be out here cussing on this podcast either. Like, I got a potty mouth, but we also aren't gonna promote ourselves as such provocative characters anymore. Yeah. Got a little older, you know, like, drinking's too much. Again, this is podcast number 1. We are still. Yeah. You would think I've done a whole podcast that actually did pretty good, and you'd think I'd learn everything by now, but I don't know. Sometimes jack shit. Don't know what's going on with that camera, but we are good. Don't you worry, we are in business.
And guys, like, if you guys are watching this and you think you'd be a really good fit to be a guest on here, definitely DM us, even on Bombhouse too. DM us through there. Some of y'all have my Instagram, my personal. DM me through there too. But yeah, I mean, we would love to have some of y'all here, and hopefully even some players too. I mean, shit, I don't know, who's ever watching this and says, "Oh, dude, my friend would be perfect on here." I mean, dude, we can keep it very professional. Like, all right, man, you know, what do you do? What's your daily like? What have you? Right? That's just an example of a question. But yeah, I mean, we would love to have people of all walks of life. In any kind of industry, business, or sport.
We're building a media company here for that. That's exactly what we're trying to do. Again, like Rafa just said, if you have someone, if you know someone that you think, hey, they should be on that podcast, they should voice their, whether it be opinion or what they want to say, definitely tell them to get on here. We're trying to keep this professional, also in a sense, but also our own personalities will definitely be out here. And like I said, restructure is definitely what we did for the better. I want to welcome also to the team, JD. I know we're talking about Bombhouse, but welcome to the team, the podcast team. Thank you. It's the community. Get Ben is no longer. Don't worry, we did not. For our sake, we did not delete any of that. It's in our archives for us to watch and reminisce over. But the community podcast is here. It's the new team. Shout out JD. Welcome on.
Thank you.
Yes,
no,
sir.
very, very excited.
I mean, and like you can tell, like a lot has changed our setup and where we're at too.
Yeah. and I mean, one thing I will say, the purpose of this podcast really is are we gonna make millions of dollars? Blah blah blah. Honestly, I don't give a fuck about that. I'm sorry to say it like plain like that and straight to the point. But it's more so to network. I want to meet people that we can both mutually benefit from each other. Whether it be advice, whether it be anything, you know. It doesn't have to be something like physical, or financial. Like, bro, I would love the advice. I'd love the tips, or just hear your story. Like, that it could be inspiring. It could give me inspiration, or it could give you. Or
I mean, we had over 4 or 5 different. I don't even know. That might be over exaggerating, but bar owners on our first.
Yeah, we had Garth and Richard, and who else?
I don't know. I think that was it.
Do you guys have Ken? No.
Is he an owner?
Ken, if you're watching this, or you know Ken, that'd be cool as fuck to have you on too.
Of course.
Talk and.
No, we have our next episode is with Friday Beers, so that's
Friday
coming
Beers,
up.
Yes. Friday Beers we did have already on the Get Ben podcast. This is now the newest rendition of that.
And it's a new character. It's not the same one.
Yeah, Ghost. We miss you, dude. We miss you in C-Stat. This one will be out pretty quick, so don't worry. We're gonna get this out fast. We added more structure to this, and we're gonna see where we're going. But we're still at Bombhouse. What are you guys expecting tonight? Party?
Spring break, so
rough.
It's gonna be slow, and that's fine. You're gonna have.
It's spring break already. I don't know the
technically,
schedule.
yeah.
Yeah, it is.
So starting Monday, there's no class.
Yeah.
Wow.
No, but surprisingly enough, today we sold all of our sections today. Surprisingly enough. Yeah. Yeah.
So we'll see.
We'll
see how that goes.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it goes, but yeah, I mean, it can't always be popping, right? Like that's another crazy thing about this. Like, the volatility is real.
That's fucked.
The volatility is real. Like, out of nowhere. Like, for example, this happened to us last month. I personally thought Valentine's was gonna pop off. To our surprise, it was not as expected, which It's kind of surprising to me. A week later, it actually pops off even harder than Valentine's. So it's like so hard to predict and like see the trends at times.
And we made a whole event around Valentine's too, just so, hey, wear red or pink or white for whatever you're in. Basically like single taken or in a hard situation. But yeah, I mean, like we did all that, and I mean, just like anybody would. And I guess the weather played a part of it.
Yeah, that's stuff. Yeah,
because if it rains or it starts drizzling, I mean, that definitely discourages people, which I get. You know, whatever, you don't want to get wet. And then two, I guess people were actually in relationships and they just maybe wanted to stay home and watch The Notebook or some shit.
Yeah, it's a lot of volatility, a lot of.
I mean, I can speak from
ton.
DJing. Like I'm like, fuck, there's work today. Oh, there's not work today. Oh shit.
Yeah.
Right. Fuck. And you see it. You'll go to the club and you're just like, oh, it's fucking dead today.
Yeah.
Like, and then some random ass Saturday it's popping.
It pops off, yeah.
And
out of nowhere.
I have people like come to me and they're like, dude, what's the difference? And I'm like, dude, I haven't cracked that code.
Yeah,
like,
there's definitely some things that like I have not been able to understand.
in the college in this college town, it's very hard to predict.
But that's what marketing is, because it's the study of like all that kind of stuff, and that's why I majored in it, and so did JD. You know, like we majored in something that's very predictable, but unpredictable, I should say. Sorry. But we try to predict it. It's like predicting the weather. You don't know how it's going to rain, how hard, whatever. I mean, you can kind of get close to getting somewhat of an estimate. But, dude, sometimes the weather people are wrong. And I will say this to our customers, actually. If you come from around like 10 to 11, sure, it's going to look dead in here. But because it's a slow build-up, you know? By 12:30, 12 o'clock.
And also the first floor is not our club. Yeah. Please understand that. The first floor is a restaurant. So when y'all are looking through the window, that's not our club.
It's basically like a little lobby for you to, I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah.
Because when you come into our place, you have to walk upstairs. And then, you'll see the second floor and you'll see the third floor.
Yes.
But
it's the loading area.
Yeah, the first floor is where people will spawn in, you know?
Yeah.
Baumhaus is an experience. It's a fun place. I love being here, DJing here. I get to actually DJ here. Shout out to these guys. Thank you for allowing me to do that. But if you're ever in College Station, or if you're a Texas A&M student, College Station resident, pay a visit, come party with us. Baumhaus is an experience, a new one, to even put that out there. But yeah, come party with us. Come pop some bottles. Start a bottle war. Hey, for real. Like, I like to see that. I hate going home and it's like a shitty night. Like, it sucks. I'm like, damn, I didn't have fun. And you're like, I want to have fun at work. Rapid fire, real quick. Both of you guys, Mays Business School graduates. Did you guys give any advice that maybe you've learned from school, or even just not even from school, but you learned in this field? For young entrepreneurs looking into the nightlife scene, if you could give two pieces of advice, one piece of advice, for someone that doesn't even have money. I don't know. You don't have money. It's like, all right, how would you get started? What would you do?
I think for me, I would have to say that the riskiest move you can do is not doing any moves. So try it. That's my first advice. And my second advice is be obsessed with it. Like, I'm literally obsessed with Baumhaus. Like, I cannot stop thinking about Baumhaus.
That's awesome.
Like, I cannot. Like, I'm always thinking about, like, what am I gonna post now? What should I make the caption? What's going on this week? What next event should we make? Who should we collab with? Like, it's just an obsession. And I think that's why it's become a good product, because I'm obsessed with it, I would say, personally. So I think that's my main two. And then my last one would be rely heavily on your network. Your network is huge. It's not what you know, it's who you know, right? So I would say, like, the combination of those three things, I would say, is what has made Baumhaus what it is, I would say, personally.
And stick with the podcast. This is the cheat code. We're going to build that network. We're going to build that network. Raph, you got anything, bro?
For me, I mean, just to keep it short, like, don't give up. Always re-strategize. If something's not working, okay, how can you make it work? It's because if there's a will, there's a way. I'm a very stubborn person. So it's like, okay, like, sure, this is going to look funny or this might look weird or what have you. But it's like, okay, there's a lot of people that have thought about doing a podcast. And it's like, okay, what's stopping you from doing it, you know? And some people will say, well, it's because I feel like embarrassed or shy, or I don't think I have it in me. Not even just stopping at the podcast, but even at the bar, like, I don't know, like and it's like, okay, that's perfect. You don't know, but start trying to know, like, how to get there.
Yeah.
And then, like, secondly, like, for me personally, like have God in your life. Like, it's a huge impact. It was a huge impact for me. Dude, I mean, bro, at one point, dude, I've been unemployed. I've had to do some crazy-ass jobs to make money. But at the same time, like, even being at rock bottom, like, dude, you know, when you reach out to God and you ask for help, he's going to help you. Like, that's something huge for me. Steve Harvey actually said, cause he was in a bad situation too. He was like homeless and shit like that, and he was basically saying, like, dude, I mean, God, if you get me there, I'll always tell people that you put me here. And so, dude, I basically was like, yeah, man, like, you know, you owe it to him, but so do I. And so that's why anytime anyone really talks to me, I will always bring that up, because that has been something very, like, near and dear to me. So that's just my 2 pieces of advice. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. I really appreciate the words of advice. Shout out to Raph. Shout out to JD. This has been a great episode, a great edition of our community podcast, episode number 1.
Absolutely.
Yeah, shout out to the guys from Bomb House. Shout out to our sponsors, Bomber Energy, taking care of us. We got packs on packs over here.
A ton, yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna be ready for tonight. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
And shout out everyone that helped us out today. This has been a long time coming, and we're gonna keep it going. We're gonna knock them out as fast as we can for you guys. We're gonna keep this going as best as we can too. We give you quality, top-notch videos, top-notch podcasts. We'll try to even get them out on different, whether it be iTunes, whether it be Spotify. We're going to try to be on all platforms as much as possible. Just really step this the fuck up. And if you guys have anything else to say before we do close it out.
I would say, like, yeah, we're just really excited to kind of start this podcast. I really am also, like, super grateful for the Northgate community in general. I feel like I can go to any other owner and ask them for advice, or like, hey, what do you think about, like, this issue I'm having on my bar? And they'll tell me, you know what I mean? Like, even though technically we're competing against each other, we're not really. And that's why we called it the community podcast, right? Because
For sure.
there's a little community here that is really, really cool. And it's just really cool to see, like, not only the owners, managers, but also, like, bartenders, barbacks, bouncers. They all, even though they don't work at the same place, they're all, like, together and, like,
Yeah, it's real.
yeah, it's real. It's really cool. So this initiative is for that. It's for us to kind of connect with other people, like-minded, maybe in the same industry as us, maybe in another industry, but really to kind of put a spotlight to people that excel in whatever they're doing, and successful people too. So yeah, just super excited to get this started and continue with the community podcast.
I mean, he hit the nail right on the head. I mean, I'm excited. We don't hate anybody. Hate's a really strong word. And if you think you're our enemy, to me, you're really not, because, I mean, I try not to have enemies. You know, if you hate me for a certain thing or dislike me, I'm sorry. I mean, what can I say?
Let's sit down and chat.
Yeah, let's sit down and talk about it.
Come to the community.
Get on the podcast, bro. Nah, but are we ready to sign out?
Yeah.
I think we reached our time limit, honestly, though. But we're good. Guys, this has been the Community Podcast, episode number 1. Again, stay tuned. Like, subscribe, share it, post it everywhere. Share that link. Send it to your grandma, because fuck it. We're building a community out here. JD, Rafa, any last words?
Thank you.
Make sure to give a like and follow. And thank you guys for hearing us out.
See you soon.
No time for haters, tell them back it up. Feel like I'm late, shit, I gotta run up quick. A nigga steady overthinking, man, this shit here make me sick. Doing a dash on this drinking shit, every day get lit. Run it up, level up, turn the page, flip the script. Take off the odds, all the motive, fuck the past, future close. In the club till it's over, don't feel the same when I'm sober.